and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and today I have another spoiler-free book review to share with you guys. Today we are talking about a very cute, very fun Christmas novel, and that book is called The Naughty or Nice Clause by Kate Callaghan. I was able to get ARC, an early review copy of this book, through NetGalley, which I'm always very grateful for. But I wanted to wait until now to talk about it, since we're into Vlogmas, into the season, and you can go and pick up a copy right now if you're interested. So this was a Christmas novel in the best kind of way. Sometimes they tend to run a little cheesy, which I don't mind for Christmas novels, but when I find one that doesn't, all the better. I like it when they stay a little more realistic, although don't get me wrong. There's fantasy at work here because Santa Claus is involved. So you do have to, you know, suspend your disbelief in that regard, but in the best possible way. And I loved it, and I had so much fun with it. So, what's it about, you may be wondering? Well, Lila, I think. When I was reading, I kept saying Layla, but I think it's Lila. Lila is a woman who lives in Dublin, Ireland, and she owns 49% of a toy company. This company was run by her father and I think her grandfather, and when her father was getting ready to give up his shares of the company, his 51%, she kind of thought they were going to come to her. But it ends up that he brings in an outside man, a man named Mason Claus, because he really knows what he's doing. He knows how to save businesses that are struggling, because as she finds out, theirs is. Now, the only problem is Mason is an absolutely insufferable guy, to use cleaner language. He's just insufferable. They don't like each other. She doesn't like him. He doesn't like her. They're constantly butting heads. Right from the beginning, we see him trying to cancel the annual Christmas party because he's like, we do not have the funds for this. And she's like, we need this. This is the morale that we build every year by showing our appreciation to our employees. You can't cancel that a couple of days before. And he's like, well, don't worry, I canceled it a couple of weeks ago. Because she's like, we're going to lose all the money that we put down for deposits. He's like, no, I took care of it. And she's like, what? Anyway, so she decides, after he leaves for the day, she decides, you know what, I'm going to throw a last minute party here at the office. Use my own money, whatever, I don't care. These people need a Christmas party. So from there, we see that Lila comes across Mason that night. He's in his office, drunk. He's gotten some bad news. His father has died and he has to go home. So, long story short, she ends up helping him get home because he's a mess. He can't get home on his own. First she goes to just put him in a cab, but the cab driver's like, there's not a chance. There's not a single chance you are leaving me with this man. He could make a mess in this car. He could get volatile. You have to accompany him home. So she gets him home. She gets him into bed. She goes home. The next morning he's at her door in just in a frazzled huff. And a few things take place, and he ends up telling her that he needs to go home because his father has died, as we already know, and he needs her to come with him. He's like, listen, I need a buffer between me and my family. I haven't been home in nearly a decade. I need you to do this for me. And, you know, sort of as a compromise, I'll give the whole staff 12 days off, which is what she wanted, 12 days off for everyone for Christmas. And originally he had been like, not a chance. But now he's bargaining. And eventually she's kind of like, okay. She figures if he's asking her, he must be desperate. So she agrees to go. And then in an instant, with the ringing of a bell, they are transported And from there, it becomes a story about a magical wonderland called Yule, or as it's known to us normies, the North Pole. And, you know, of course, right from the first sentence when he is introduced as Mason Claus or Mr. Claus, you immediately know where this story is going. But I loved seeing how it all played out. I loved getting to see her explore Yule and the hijinks they get up to there. And from there, it's like a slow burn, enemies to lovers story, which is my favorite. I don't read a lot of romance, but anytime I do, I want them to be enemies and then then fall in love. I know some people like the friends to lovers. No. I like the enemies to lovers. So we get a bit of that here, and I just thought it was very sweet. It's the perfect kind of cozy, quick Christmas read. Like, I read it all in one day, and I thought it was a ton of fun. And I would definitely recommend to anyone who is looking for a slightly more realistic Christmas story. And when I say realistic, obviously I don't mean the magical Santa Claus bits, but the dialogue. The dialogue, for me, it was the dialogue. The dialogue is more realistic than you often get in these sort of stories. And I appreciate that. I like it when people talk the way people actually talk. And there was some dialogue in there that literally had me laughing out loud. Maybe not laughing out loud, but I definitely audibly chuckled. We'll leave it at that. And I just thought it was great. From what I can tell, Kate has written 3 other books that are sort of YA fantasies. And from her bio, I was reading she's getting ready to move into dark adult fantasies. So I don't read a ton of fantasy, but I really liked her writing, and I thought it was really engaging and really fun to read. So I'll definitely keep an eye out for her in the future. And I liked how in the beginning of this book, sort of in the blurb before the book begins, she talks about how she kind of wanted to move away from the normal things she writes and sort of just write something to get her in the holiday spirit. And I certainly hope it worked for her, because it worked for me, and I think it might work for you too. If everything you've heard here today sounds like something you might be interested in. So that's going to do it for me for today. Like I said, it is out now. You can go pick it up anywhere. I don't know anywhere books are sold, but on Amazon for sure. And probably in bookstores as well. I don't know, but definitely Amazon. And yeah, if you read it, let me know what you thought of it down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, I always love to hear your thoughts. So I'm going to end this one here. This video is going to stand in for Vlogmas Day 2. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Bye.